I also linked it in the Canvas announcement that I just sent out. So what you want to do is make sure you have this window, the Git Repository Window for clips. If you've forgotten where it is, that's going to be under Windows, Show View, Other, and then you want to go down to Git and then Git Repositories. But from there, you want to right click here and you want to do a clone Git repository. From there, you should get the option to clone that into your own workspace. Did everyone see that part? So again, clone this workspace from GitHub into Eclipse. Wait, where's my video preview? I wish this thing did not do this. I want to see my preview. Alright, perfecto. Yeah, keep it up, guys. Just kind of keep up with the chat, and then we'll go from there. So I'll give everyone another 4 minutes to kind of get going with the setup. You could technically go back later and do it. But if you're already in front of a computer, might as well not waste the time and kind of program along. Oh no, why is it so warm in here? Should have turned on the AC. Wait, I can turn it on from my phone. Let's see here. Saying possibly a wrong URL. You have everything in there though? Let's see here. Clone Git repository. If I do that and I click next, it allows me to keep going and then I can save it. Seems to be working on my end. I'm gonna double check to see that it's public. Oh, okay. Very well. Muy bien. Yeah, if you have Canvas open, you can just copy paste from the link there. Otherwise, it might be too long of a link. Dos minutos, and we will get going by talking about what's already here so we can familiarize ourselves. The last GitHub thing that I sent you guys had too many projects in there. So this one should simplify it. So then you're not like confused about having all the rest of the stuff in it. So I separated it from the other one so that it's not included with the rest of those starter projects. Alright, so the way that this is going to work is we'll talk about the setup and then we'll do a little bit of coding together. And then what I'm going to do is kind of make it like a lab almost where I'm like, okay, now this is the part of the code that you should be working on this week. And then this is what you're going to copy paste into, or this is what you're going to talk about in terms of any submissions that you guys are supposed to submit. If you are going to do this full time with me, as far as the Trello thing, I guess you can just say Frogger or something, doing Frogger with you or something like that. That should kind of simplify that. Let me make sure I can set that up now. Poway.instructure.com. Okay, yep, I do need the AC. It's too warm. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think I just need to open my window. Hold on. I'm gonna... Oh, no, I guess I can survive. Okay, going now. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna zoom out of this so that you can see the entire thing. I am currently recording this, so what I'm gonna do is after this session, I'm gonna just push it to YouTube. I didn't set up a streaming thing, so it's not gonna automatically upload. Dang it, wait, why didn't I do that? I should have done that. Okay, so let's talk about the setup. Again, good question, Eli, on the package thing. So there's this subfolder called frog, and so now there's this line called package frog. And that should be in every single file here. So that you can just think of a package as a subfolder. If we take a look at the Froggy class, so you should have guessed already, right? So it's going to describe our main character, the frog. In fact, I should probably just play this so that we can see what's happening. Oh no. Do you guys see Frogger right now? Shoot. No. Do I have to actually literally switch to it? Okay, there you go. Okay, so there it is right now. What we have is a frog. The frog is all the way at the bottom. The car are these things. Who is this person? And so those are the two classes that we're going to talk about right now. Let me switch back over to the other screen. Eclipse Workspace, share. Okay. So for example, it has an X and Y, velocity in the X and Y direction. Velocity variables. It does have a width and height. As you can see, I did misspell height there. Silly me. If you do a shift right click, you can do a refactor rename. Where's my refactor rename? Just kidding. You can't do a refactor rename. Oh, there it is. And so now if I wanted to change this and press enter, anything that's referring to that variable will change automatically. Or should I say automagically? I know. So good. So let's talk about the constructor here. The constructor takes in a file name. We are simplifying this, so as you can see, my main files are within the project setup. So they're under the main frog package, which makes them easily accessible. So that means when you add your own character later, which you might want to do, which you should do, which we will do actually, otherwise it's just a lot of coding and we gotta give you some art to do. X, Y, so as you can see, very typical. I set the velocities to 0 in the beginning. I think the frog is 50 by 50. I guess it's 50 by 50. So if you are gonna make your own artwork, which you should do, it would be 50 by 50. This is typical. I think in the other game that we created, this is the main setup. So the image stuff, and then the initialization of I can't speak, of where that image is gonna show up, and then you've got your getters and setters. We've got this collided method, which I think we could make that easier. A move method, and that's about it. So for frog, the move method will be invoked. I think it's being invoked all the time. So anytime that there is a velocity that's non-zero in the X and Y, it should move it. Oh, I mean the frog should move. So now let's take a look at the car. The car should be very similar to the Froggy one. So technically, if you wanted to include inheritance here, maybe you could have a superclass that would have all these basic parts. And then car and Froggy would actually extend that superclass. Or they would be a child class of that superclass. But to kind of simplify it, this is what we have. So now let's go to driver. Yeah, I guess technically speaking, you guys have done a similar game already. So maybe I should have just said, whatever. Alright, so as it is, it's 900 by 900. If you wanted to play around with the size of the frame, you could do that. We have the Froggy class here, and then we've got a 1D array car. This is that one line of car that you guys see going across the screen. You've got a background class objects here. So the background itself, the actual screen, it's actually similar to, again, what we did to hack the that bullet game that we did together. But you know, the background behaves like a car and a Froggy object, where it's got the main parts, except I removed a lot of the stuff that you don't need. For example, because the background is static for Frog, it doesn't have any of the velocity stuff. So that's why the background class is easy. And you could even, I don't know, if you wanted to fix any extra code here, you can remove whatever you need to remove. Let's talk about the setup here. So what happens when driver is created? So let's go to the driver constructor. So the driver constructor is setting up the entire frame for us. The starting point here, of course, is to create a JFrame. Let's set the title, the size. This is so that you can't resize the frame itself, which can be weird sometimes if your elements are static and they don't change with the sizing, right? With the resizing, then it would be easier to do this. This part right here is going to listen for keys, listen for key presses on this frame. So here is where I set up my Froggy. So anytime you guys are ready to add other objects, it should go here. So as you can see, right, the background goes here as well. So again, the driver class is class constructor. Used to set up all of the objects on the screen. Oh yeah, I forgot this thing has... Wait, what? Doesn't have auto suggest? Okay. Objects. So if you wanted to, which we will later, right? You're probably gonna set up an array list here. You're probably going to set up, I don't know, whatever other features we have. If you wanted to now, you could even just say, okay, leave room here to instantiate a second quote-unquote row of obstacles, aka what do you call those things? I'm gonna Google what obstacles are there in Frogger images. I guess they're just cars. Okay, so maybe aka other cars, bulldozers, trucks, turtles, logs, etc. So that's where you're going to be doing that. Okay, so that's that. The constructor again will set up all the objects that you guys see on the screen. So keep all of these names of instance variables down because we are going to be referring to them a lot. The key press are down here. So you could either look up what the character is, or you could compare it to key event dots, and then all the keys should be listed, and they start with a VK, and then you can just pick the key that you're trying to listen to, right? So in this case, I'm trying to do WASD. So that's why I have that. Oh gosh, what just happened, yo? Okay. And then, oh, I see. Cool. So now the first thing you guys want to do is be able to go side to side. And can Frogger go back? Yeah, Frogger can go backwards. So first thing for this week, so what you'll submit on tomorrow by Friday. Today's Thursday, right? Yes. Is you're going to be able to move the frog up, down. What is wrong with my keyboard? Sorry, my keyboard is like double pressing. Up, down, left, and right. Oops, why did I do a multi-line? So if this is going to get me moving up, what do I need to do to get it moving down? This is where you guys come in. Hello? Somebody. Positive. Okay, but what am I listening for? So you said +5. Actually, so Frogger typically has moved. I don't know what you guys want to do. Do we want to, like, how do we want the frog to move is the question. Do we want to make it move smoothly, or should it be hopping by its size? Hopping by size. Oh, okay. So since we want to change this, right? So as is right now, I'll show you what it looks like. Which, it's probably not the typical Frogger. Why does this thing like to hide itself? It's camouflaging. New share. Okay, so the way that it's working right now is that when I have... Oops, why is this in the wrong direction? What's happening? My frog went away forever. That's because here I've got it listening for up but not down. So let me try that again. And then I did it twice. So this... I'm not sharing my screen. True that. Alright, so I kind of left it halfway done, right? So I'm going to change this to VKA. So that it's not reading for both. You can also write a switch case statement, which I'm going to switch to now. So I'm going to do switch e.get key code. So this allows us to kind of use new content. This kind of behaves like a very simplified if else if kind of deal. So I'm gonna go if the case is it's a W, then I do stuff here, and then I break, and then I listen for another case, which is going to be A. Case, it's an A, do stuff and then break. So now I can replace this code and just kind of cut and paste where I need to go. Cut this guy and paste it here. Cool. So again, it's saying, okay, based on the value of the key code, check to see if it's this value, check to see if it's this value. At the end of the day, this thing right here is just some numerical value, so don't get too caught up in that. And I don't actually get why switch case statements are in line like this, because I I'm thinking I want it to be indented, but it's not. Such is life. Oh yeah, WASD. Thank you. S. And then of course, as you're doing this, you could add comments. Up. Down. Okay, so the thing is, Shahir said, no, we have to make this classic Frogger. And if it's classic Frogger, it shouldn't be kind of moving the way that it's moving currently. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to add something to Froggy. I'm just going to call it, oh, excuse me, hop. So I'm going to copy paste move. And I'm going to change this to hop. And what we're going to do is, well, I guess now it has to move by its actual, oh shoot, but we want it to only be one time. Poop, 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 poop. Well, I guess we'll see if this works or not. Y plus equals, so hop. So we need to tell it what direction though. We need to tell it what direction. So I'm going to take in a direction. And we're just going to say, we're going to continue working with cases. Case direction. Oops, not case. Switch. Case 0. Case 1. Case 2. Case 3. So we'll just say that this is up. We going down. This is taking too much. Left and right. We just have to know this in the when we call it. Okay. So now instead of just a simple plus VY, we're gonna say if they're trying to go up, then you want to take away the height. So you want it to move by its height completely up and down. So when you go down, you should be moving y plus equals the height. So will cause hopping. So the movement is, it's not by pixel. Okay, so that should allow me to go up and down. So now we have to invoke hop. So I'm going to go back to driver. If you're copying me right now, I guess I'll keep it on the right side here. And instead of, oh, I guess, you know what? I wonder if I could have just passed the direction towards direction. Oh, what do you guys want to do? Should we just pass the key event to hop? I feel like that would be so much easier. Decision time. What shall we do? What shall we do? I guess, dang, I don't know. I guess I'll just keep this for now. I'm going to go and just keep it as is. So now you guys have freedom to change things. Why is this scrolling so weirdly? Alright, so here I'm going to go, okay, I have a Froggy object. A Froggy object should now have a hop command. And if I want it to go up, I need to pass in 0. And if I want Froggy to go down the screen, I need to pass in a 1. And so that's only if they're pressing the W for up, and then if they're pressing S is down. Let me test it and see what happens. Does it break the game? Oh man. this background needs to be better, I think. Okay, so let me show you the resulting game so that you can see what happens to... Oops, I should probably click play first because I closed the game. Okay. New share. Frogger. Okay, so again, because we changed all that code, it should now just move up by its height. So I can go up and then I can go down. So there are a lot of things that we can fix, right? So we probably shouldn't be able to go off the screen. And then when we get to the top, it should somehow, I don't know. I think we need some sort of scoring thing eventually. But when we get to this green side, we should be able to win, and then it resets back to the bottom. But the way that we have it, now it's behaving like the classic hopping. Cool. So now I want to be able to go side to side. So for side to side, you guys are going to then do that. So this is what I meant by, okay, you know, I'll walk you through, but then I'm gonna expect you to finish some parts of it. So to help you out though, since again you're new to this code and you're not, you know, too familiar with it since you didn't create it, so I'll give you some guidelines in the beginning and then I'll slowly wean you off of it. We will still do them weekly. So now we're gonna do handle going left and right. So that would be the keys. What in the world? A and D keys. So again, when you guys are doing this, it should be, you know, you're using this as a template. So then over here, on the Froggy, you would then do left and right. Is that enough work for 1 week? I don't think so, right? What else? You guys can... Pretty's like, that's so much work. Come, don't be silly. Okay, so what did we do? We changed things up to a switch statement. Well, the first two, I read the most recent one, Pretty. Let's see, we switched things to switch case statements. So then you're familiar with those things, right? A lot of us are going to move on with some sort of coding somewhere down the line. So it's probably good that you're familiar with switch case statements. Although arguably, if you can do the hard stuff that we've been doing, you can learn the basic stuff like switch case statements. But never hurts to be familiar. And then what else did we do? Oh, there you go. And then I can give you another task. The other tasks that you would then do are the fun graphic stuff. So I'll show you some examples. Let me make sure my email is out of the way here, so that you don't see anything weird. Wait, where is that? Why is Zoom trying to be discreet and like getting out of the way? Come on, Zoom, I don't need you to go out the way. Okay, cool. So here are some example sprites for Frogger. So this week, you want to get Froggy moving up, down, and left and right. Froggy should not be able to move diagonally. If you have that issue, that would be something you should be fixing. The other one is setting up the rest of the streets. I think we're going to change the background because the current background is weird. I don't think I like the current background. But if you can customize the background altogether, that's great. But you should be looking for turtles, logs, and a semi truck. It could be a Tesla semi-truck. And then what is that one website that you guys used again to create pixel art? Is it like literally pixel art? Let's see, pixel art. Cool. All right, so you guys will go to pixel art. Ooh, I wonder if pixelart.com is free, and then like you guys could create that website. No, Eli, that is not allowed. So there are some bugs that you want to take into consideration. Wait, does it allow you to do that? Hold on a minute. Does it go diagonally? I don't know. Up and right arrows don't block each other. But it's a race condition, right? Like one always happens before the other, so that's fine, I guess. It's just a really quick up and then right, or right and then up. That's fine. That is fine. We can think of it as somebody having a really high APM. For me, I'm able to just build regularly. Try right-clicking on driver and then do run as Java application. I'm not sure if you've imported properly. Eli, you cloned it and then are able to run? Okay. Yeah, check for any reds, because we changed stuff in driver and we changed stuff in Froggy. I'm also going to show you how to use this real quick. So you're going to go to File, New, and then change this to like, I don't know, depending on what you're trying to draw. If you're trying to draw the semi-truck, I think that would probably be twice the width of Frogger, but the same height. And then you would draw your blah, blah, blah. You can also find, if you wanted, you could literally find sprites and just size them according to Frogger's, relative to Frogger's size. So Frogger's 50 by 50, so everything else should be relative to its size. Right? So for example, Frog is here, this is the size of the car, etc. If you have time, like if you love to draw and you're creative, you should do that. But you can also just edit and snip some images of sprites. If you want to take a picture of your face and have it be one of your obstacles, that's fine. That would be funny. If you are gonna snip though, make sure that you preserve the alpha layer, and like whatever program that you're using, make sure you have a transparent background. Otherwise you're gonna see that weird, border around your picture. It will take away from the immersion, it's like VR, but not at all. Wait, is that enough work? Alright, so if you broke yours, should I push this? Awesome, I will make myself the frog. I like it. Okay, some of you, if you broke your setup, I'm gonna go ahead. To be nice, I will push this. I'm gonna go team, commit. Oh, it auto added them this time. That's interesting. Let's see. Commit message should be something helpful. Switch case statements for movement. Oh, maybe Zoom is like doing weird stuff in my keyboard. Make sure you're not in debugging mode. Ask Andrea, didn't she get into like debugging mode at some point? Switch to switch case statements. Change movement. Wow, change movements. Oh wait, what am I showing right now? I should probably show my screen so you know what I'm trying to do for you. New share. Eclipse. I'm just trying to add stuff to my Git repository. So I'm going to commit this so that if something broke and you don't know what part, then you can go back and you can delete that project altogether. Make sure you delete the files associated with it. Don't just delete and click okay. It's not going to delete the files. Then you have to go find the files. And then you'll need like a separate brand new project name. Change movement of up, down to hopping. Ooh, I think that's way too long of a message. So I'm gonna commit this and push it. And then I'll tell you when it's safe to reclone if you want to reclone. Push to Frogger. Perfect. Okay, so I was able to push. So if you wanted to reclone it with the changes that we made, you can now repull. Nope. So once you find your sprites, make sure when you drag them over, just make sure they're in the same place as these ones. And then next week we can talk about adding them in. Could you show hop real quick, please? James, can you kind of reiterate what you want me to show with hopping? Or like, can you clarify? You can, yeah. Or I think if you override if you name them the same thing, you can override them. Overwrite, I'm sorry. I just need to see where the TX that set to translation thing goes. Okay. Oh, hop. My bad. My bad. There you go. Is that visible? Well, this entire setup does it, and you could watch. I don't know. I guess you could watch the beginning of the video that I'm gonna post. But I talked about the setup of the driver and how these classes work with it. So essentially, the classes use images, and so once you can, in as far as the GUI goes, the graphic user interface, these classes are just images that are moving around the screen. So this is the perfect kind of starter project if you have a similar project doing that. Yeah, and then if you did the bullet game, you could also use that as a starting point. But yeah, watching the beginning of this video once I post it should kind of clarify the setup of the driver. And then every single class contains an image, and we're just moving around the images around the screen. So for the code this week, you guys are going to give me your full hop and your full key pressed, and just talk about them. Is that clear? As far as what do you need to, like, I wouldn't know JFrame existed. Yeah, it's one of those things. If you're trying to build a JFrame thing all together, you would have to just go back and read up documentation on JFrames. For the most part, if you're familiar with the class, for example, if you're trying to use an array list, you kind of know the class name, and so it's gonna bug you and say you need to import an array list. But just creating something from scratch, I didn't expect anybody to create anything from scratch. I kind of expected you guys to have some sort of starting point, and just kind of finagle and change it to do something new. But you could, if you know the setup of Frogger, you could essentially turn this into whatever you want to. Yes, Eli, make it hop and then work on your sprites. Of course, everyone is definitely welcome to make anything from scratch. Not scratch. Not the website scratch. Hold on. If you wanted to like start with a brand new thing, then that's fine. Like there's tons of places. You can just YouTube. There's so many tutorials on just how to build a JFrame. You can start with the basics. So if you want to discover a class to create moving sprites, I mean that's one way, right? You could Google tutorials. Java is pretty common, and making Java games is also pretty common. The other thing, I don't know, Pretty, I'm mainly working off of what I've exposed you to. So essentially, I was hoping that you've at least got one thing on GitHub that has JFrames and images. And then just going off of that, you should be able to kind of make that one of your starting points for a project if you wanted to. Okay. Any preguntas? Additional questions? Again, finish key press and finish hop, and then maybe work on 2 to 4 sprites or finding sprites. No worries. If you do want to know if you want to see it be done from scratch, how many stuff did we do together? The COVID, the social distancing simulation, that was done way from scratch. What else? The Minesweeper. I don't know if you guys showed up for that, but that was also done from scratch. So if you wanted to see something being done absolutely from nothing, from a blank class, then you want to watch either of those or additional whatever tutorials you can find. But I did do stuff from scratch using those two things. And we did it live, so it's probably full of errors, but we were just doing it for fun. I will list those somewhere. Where should I put this? Just to remind you, announcements. I'm gonna change the announcement to kind of, should I say in here what you should be doing if you're gonna continue doing Frogger? Let's see, important code along. If you're doing Frogger as your project, you will finish up these segments of code. Key pressed under driver.java, left and right. Hop under Froggy, left and right. When you hold it down, yeah, probably not. Let's see. I forgot that is a thing for some. Does line move all the time? Oh yeah, I forgot it does do that. We need a way to make it do it once. You know what? Actually, no, that's fine. Let's not code against that. If somebody wanted to hop like that, that is okay. Yeah, this background sucks. Where did I get this background? It's not even like even. It doesn't even follow the 50 pixel rule. Yeah. Yeah, Eli, you're fine with that. I will. And then look for 2 to 4 sprites. Let's see here. So semi truck, turtle, log. And I'm gonna save that. Okay, I guess I could probably stop this so I can upload it.